Okay, so let us begin with the class. So since we have finished module 1 from your syllabus, as you can, if you look into the syllabus which is given in your LMS portal as well, I have uploaded there. So whatever was there in the module 1, I have finished it. So do you have any queries from the module 1 section? Because we will move on to module 2. Do you have any queries to be asked which needs to be cleared? Any doubts in the module 1 section? Yes or no? At least say a yes or no so that I can understand that no, you do not have any doubts.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we will move on to the next module, which is there. 5 modules are there in your syllabus. So the next module is requirements analysis and specification. The after the feasibility study phase, we know the next phase in any life cycle model was requirement analysis and specification. So the next chapter is okay. So, all the life cycle models that we have studied, it says that before starting to develop a software, the requirements of the customer, they must be understood and they must be documented. And when a lot of case studies also we have seen that many projects have suffered because the developers, they started to implement something without determining whether what they are building is what the customers are wanting or not. So starting the development work without properly understanding and documenting the requirements, it will increase the number of iterative change requests that may come in the later phases of any life cycle model, and thereby if I have to make a lot of changes, it will definitely increase my development cost. So in addition to development of in addition to increase in development cost also, there a ground will be made, like we will set a ground for the customer dissatisfaction also. So the customer developer disputes will start, and they can go for any legal battles, they can have bad image, they can give bad review about that company. So developers always consider that requirements analysis and specification is a very important phase of any software development lifecycle model, and this phase needs to be undertaken with utmost care, because always we need to be clear about what we are developing or what we are giving, whether they are wanting that thing to take or not. Okay. So those who are experienced developers, they take considerable amount of time to understand the exact requirements of the customer, and then they with a lot of knowledge, then they document all the requirements which comes from the customer, because they know that without a clear understanding of the problem and without any proper documentation of the same, it is impossible to develop a good satisfactory solution. Because the customers may also say in future, no, I have never said that. So always it is very much important to document each and every request which is coming from the customer, so that development team also can be in a good position to say that we have built what you have said only. See, now you cannot say that I am not wanting that. You will have to give me the extra cost which was spent in developing the theme which you thought at the moment that it was necessary, but now you are thinking it is not necessary, I should remove it. Fine, I will remove it, but you will have to bear the extra cost, because from my mind this decision has not come. You have asked me to change the thing, so I have changed the thing. So always we need to understand the requirements, and we need to document the requirements. And in fact, this documentation process, it is applied to each and everything in life. Whenever you go for any official thing, you should always keep documents for each and everything. Verbal words do not have much meaning. There should always a official something, a mail, a office order, a letter, a document, any official document should be there. Okay. So, for any type of software development project, availability of a good quality requirements document was definitely an important factor if I want to successfully complete the project, right? So, a good requirement document, it will help to understand a clear understanding of the various features that are required from the software, and also it will help us, or it will help the development team to understand the various activities that are carried out during the life cycle phases. Because whenever some change request is coming from the customer, I am documenting it and I am implementing that change. So in my document the change is reflected. So at first, when someone is seeing that document, he can understand, okay, the development team started from here. Later on, after 2 months, okay, this request came. Okay, so they changed or modified this part of the program. Okay, fine. So everything is documented, right? So whenever a software is documented, the organization, they always need to give importance to the documentation part. Whenever a software is developed, this documentation of the requirements should always be given emphasis on. And by seeing the documents, person can clearly understand the various functions that the software will do, and also he can understand what are the various activities that are carried out in the development phase of that software. Fine. So all types of software development projects, proper formulation of requirements and proper documentation of those requirements is very much important. But yes, however, for very small software service projects like your projects in the things you do in your class or in your BTech life, those projects are very small projects. So for those projects, maybe you do not require to document each and every change you make. We only need one report or one project report at the end, right? That will consist of the final thing, the overall final thing. But we do not need any step by step changes which you have done in your project at the before representing the last stage of your project. What changes you have done from your 7th semester to 8th semester, all the changes we do not need to see. So for very small software service projects, maybe this is not necessary. But if you look at the majority of the software project in the world, this analysis, that is formulation of the requirements parts, analysis and specification, that is documentation of this requirements parts, is very important phase, or should I rather say is one of the most important phases in any life cycle model. So is the concept, at least introductory part, clear? Why do we need this phase?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now is, when will this requirement analysis phase start? So the requirement analysis and specification phase, it starts after the feasibility study stage is complete, we have seen that in our life cycle models, and after the feasibility study phase is done, from that phase we can conclude that whether the project is financially possible or not, whether the project is technically feasible or not. So once the feasibility study phase is over and we can conclude that yes, financially and technically we can take up this project is feasible, then only there will be a requirement of the next stage, that is the requirement analysis and specification phase, right? So after the feasibility stage, it will start, and this phase will end when the requirement specification has been documented, they have been developed, they have been reviewed, they have been documented. So the requirement specifications we will develop, we will review it, and we will document it. So once this entire thing is documented, the requirements are specified and they are documented, I will say that yes, my requirement analysis and specification phase is complete. I can freeze this phase and I can start on with my development next phase, design phase, right? So can you tell in which document this requirement specification things are there? We have talked about it in the class.
SRS.
SRS, good, very good. So if I want to tell about the goal of this just this phase in a quick line, what should I write? I'm just writing, okay? Fine. So this is the goal of this phase. We need to understand the customer requirements, and we need to organize, structure the requirements into a document. This document, which we have studied earlier also, is known as software requirements specification document, that is the SRS document. Okay. So this is all about the goal for this phase. Now the next question which comes is, who carries out this phase? This requirement analysis phase, who carries out? Okay. Right. So the requirement analysis and specification activity, it is carried out by few of the experienced members of the development team, and it will require to spend some time at the customer site. Okay. So why the experienced members are required? Now, when you people also will apply in some IT companies, so you people also will work in some development team or the other. When you are joining as computer programmers, you will be program associates, associate programmers. So you should also work in some development team. But you are fresher candidates, right? So a person who is already there in the company for a few years and also who has worked some in other companies as well, so definitely that person will definitely have more knowledge in compared to you, because whenever he will talk with the customers, he knows what exactly what conversation I need to do, so that I can take out in a short span of time, I can take out as much information possible from the customer, or whatever requirements are coming from the customer, how I can relate and I can make him understand that whether this is what you are wanting, this is what you are expecting, and how I can quickly and good in a good way I can document those things. So for those reasons, not everyone in the development team, but few experienced members of the development team, they perform this requirement analysis and specification phase. They document these things into the SRS document, and in order to carry out this phase, they will definitely have to spend some time as the customer site. By this, at the customer site, I am not saying that they will have to visit always the customer. The customer may also come to their organization, but whatever it is, there need to be a communication with the categories of the customer. So the engineers who gather and analyze this customer requirements and then they write these SRS documents, they are known as system analysts. So whenever you see the vacancy for system analyst, now you will know what is the work of a system analyst, right? So the person who gathers and analyzes these customer requirements and they write the SRS documents, they are known as system analysts in the software industry. So the system analyst, they will collect the data that is relevant to the product which needs to be developed. They will analyze the collected data to understand what exactly needs to be done. After understanding the user requirements, these analysts, they will analyze the requirements in order to cancel out any inconsistency, anomalies and incompleteness. After that, they will proceed to write the SRS document. So, if I just need to like sum up, I will just write it down for you. So this is the work of the system analyst who carries out this phase. They will collect the data that is relevant to the product being developed. They will analyze the collected data from the customers. They will try to understand. They will try to conceptualize what exactly needs to be done. Then after understanding, among all the things they have collect, they will now remove the inconsistent data, incomplete data, duplicates data. They will remove the, or they will weed out all these things, and finally they will proceed to write the SRS document. So I can say that SRS document is the final outcome of this requirement analysis and specification phase. Is this thing clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is this thing clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how is the SRS document validated? Now, once the SRS document is ready, it will be reviewed internally by the project team members. They will try to ensure that it covers all the user requirements, and it needs to be understandable, it needs to be consistent, it needs to be complete, it needs to be unambiguous, right? So once the internal project team members, they will uh, review the SRS document, and they will say that yes, it covers all the user requirements, and also the document is understandable, consistent, unambiguous and complete. Then the SRS document is then given to the customer for the review. So after the customer has reviewed the SRS document and agrees to this document, it will form the basis of all the future development activities, and also it will serve as a contract document between the customer and the development organization. So the SRS document, at first it is reviewed by the project team members internally, right? After it is complete internally, it is reviewed by customer. Fine. Once it is removed by the customer and the customer accepts and the customer agrees or accepts the document, then this document will serve as a contract between the two, or it will serve as the basis for all the future development activities which will be carried out, right? So this is how the SRS document is validated. Two times validation is there. First by the internal team. If all is okay, they pass it to the customer. Then by the customer team, if all is okay, they give a green signal. Then fine, this is the document which will serve as a contract between the two. And this is the document which will forms the basis of all the future development activities. Fine. Now, Let me just quickly share the attendance first. After the attendance, I will continue it. Okay. So everyone, please mark your attendance. Is there anyone who is left to give the attendance? Anyone left to give the attendance? Fine. So let's just quickly finish up the last thing which we were studying. So this is how the SRS document is validated. Next, with what we will learn is what are the main activities which are carried out in this phase. So what are the main activities which are carried out in this phase? So from the name itself, we can say that this phase, it involves carrying out two important activities. One is what? The requirements gathering and analysis. Fine. Another is the requirement specification. Right? So these are the two important activities which are carried out in this phase. That is, first step is we do what? We gather the information, we analyze the information or the requirements from the customer, and next is we specify it in our technical terms or whatever language it is best to understand both the development team and the customer. We then specify it with accurate specifications. Okay, so this was all about today's class, that is about the entire requirements analysis phase, specification phase, starting why this phase is needed, what is an overview of this phase, what are the goals of this phase, who carries out this phase, what is SRS document, how this document is validated, and what are the main activities in this phase. Okay, so in the next class we will start from this where we have left today, that is one by one I will enter into the two of the main activity phases. That is, first work is the requirement gathering and analysis, under which what are the works that are done, and then is the requirement specification phase, under which what are the activities that are done. Okay, so up to what we have learned today, anyone has any query? You have not understood anything? Yes or no? Have you understood it? Yes or no? Any query? Yes or no? Any query?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then thank you so much for attending the class. I hope everyone has given their attendance. I am ending the class. Thank you.